Welcome back to the Emperor Atheist channel with your host, the Emperor Atheist. What's been going on, fam? Uh, just looking at the news today. Some of y'all probably ain't been looking at the news today, but they got this is inauguration day for the Donald, the Trumpster, and you look in certain cities like Seattle, different places. You see people riding and doing all this crazy shit, busting out windows and all this dumb shit, specifically in Seattle. But I just want y'all to pay attention to something here. Now, let's get something straight here. One thing is for sure. All this bullshit that's going on is not going to get Trump impeached, nothing like that. It's just people supposedly on the forefront of things as far as what your eyes are supposed to see. People that are just angry because Trump won the election or because he cheated or because whatever the issue may be. They feel like the Russians manipulated the elections or whatever they might think it is. But I want y'all to go look at this videotape if y'all haven't seen it in Seattle. And just, you see this crowd walking down the street, big crowd. Then you see these masked people running all up. Almost look like a scene from Syria or some shit. Busting out windows in stores and shit. I mean, I don't know, like Trump. I'm sure those not Trump-owned stores in Seattle. They're busting out windows and shit. But the thing about it is very strange about it. It really looks staged to me. The shit looks staged. And I think it is staged because I don't know if y'all can go back and y'all remember the Boston bombing. There's a lot of people, I'm talking about credible people, credible sources, credible news sources who said that the Boston bombing was fake and hoax. I also accept that too. And I'm not even on a conspiracy theory type shit, but certain shit, man, you just can't overlook. And if y'all go online, you can see some credible sites where it talks about the Boston bombing and how you had certain actors placed in certain places. And, you got these people actually seeing the same people like in different situations. Certain people been in this damn situation was in another bombing. I mean, this stuff is not fake. And I think this is what's going on now. I believe a lot of this rioting shit is going on. I mean, just like some of the Black Lives Matter. The people like George Soros, he started this particular Black Lives Matter. For what? I understand what the followers got out of Black Lives Matter, but what was the intended purpose of George Soros? Those who are not familiar with him, and I don't mean to jump subject, those who are not familiar with him, what was his purpose of starting Black Lives Matter and the people that dealt with it? And this is the same thing with Occupy Wall Street and all these different movements. I think a lot of these people are actors and the government are staging these things. And I think this thing with Trump is being staged and these riots are being staged. Just like certain protesters. Y'all remember when Trump was talking about Hillary and a lot of the protesting that was going on. A lot of these protesters are paid to protest. These are paid protesters. This shit is really not real or genuine or what y'all think. There's a lot of devious stuff going on in this country and this government on both sides. But I think they staging these things. Maybe they want to get rid of Trump. Somebody want to get rid of Trump. They didn't expect him to get any win. And maybe they want Mike Pence to actually, because he's a real dodo right wing for real, all the way to the right. And I don't know if these people actually is going to be satisfied with Trump being the lead, man, because I don't think they really know what he's going to do or if he's going to follow the particular orders, to the T. Because, of course, the presidency is not something that you just do on your own or you just run it like you want to run it because you get picked. So these things, man, are like, when you just look at it, I just want y'all to go back and just look at this shit, man. I should have put a clip on the video. It just don't look real. It don't look genuine as far as the way that people running all on the sidewalk, busting windows. It looked very, very staged. And the reason I refer back to the Boston Massacre, not the Boston Massacre, but the Boston bombing is because everybody talked about it. And not just conspiracy sites, but a lot of people talked about how it was staged, how it was a hoax. Y'all can just look it up. You just easily just Google Boston bombing hoax. And then you can see the photos and, y'all can review the information for yourself and y'all make your own opinion about it. But I'm just made this video about this because it's just strange. I just want y'all to stay woke, you know what I mean? Just stay woke and don't think that a lot of the stuff that you see with your eyes are really what you're really seeing. A lot of this shit is staged, probably about 90% of it. It's all a fucking. It's all. It's like a matrix. You know what I mean? The things are. You take the red pill or the blue pill. These things are not what it appears to be. That's going on in this country and in this world. These things are still being ran by certain families, and they still making certain decisions. They do things to throw people off or to throw the masses off, and the media is the biggest tool to do that. You'd be surprised. Cameramen are down with a lot of this shit too. I don't care what news. It might be CNN, Fox. It don't matter. NBC, MSNBC. They all being ran by the same people, and they all want the same message to be brought across in the same way. So and usually I speak about religion, and I speak about politics as well, because everything is basically based around control. So when I speak against religion, I'm speaking against that particular control, because religion is a big factor in human control, going all the way to the papacy or dealing with the Catholic Church, which when we deal with Christianity and Islam and all of these different things, when you do proper research, you see that all these religions were basically what you would call children of the Catholic Church, you know what I mean, or a child, or something that came forth from the Catholic Church. We look at the Protestants, which are all Christianity, no matter what you could consider it, Baptist, Methodist, whatever, Seventh-day Adventists, all came from the Catholic Church. And even Islam, you think about the Quran, the Quran and the way that it was written, you could see the Catholic influence within that. That religion was created. It didn't just want no Prophet Muhammad, no unread prophet or unlettered prophet just came up with some shit. No Allah spoke to no damn Prophet Muhammad and he came up with a whole new revelation. No, that was stage 2. And I try to make these correlations because they are very important. Because even though within this country you're supposed to have separation of church and state, but that's not really what they want. Even though the so-called founding fathers of this country, a lot of them were anti-religious. They were anti-Christian. I mean, Thomas Jefferson, a lot of them, you know what I mean? Thomas Paine and different others. They spoke basically against the Bible, and they tried to make common sense of it. But there have been other powers that be just came after them, and they want to control. They know religion is the number one controlling factor. So you look at Mike Pence, the vice president. I mean, he's basically anti-science. He's all for religious teaching and the people that they got in, because one thing is for sure, the powers that be, they know that religion or the God hypothesis or this heaven and hell concept, they know it keeps the masses of the people down. It keeps them mentally unstable, so they can have more control of you. When you don't have a fear of a heaven over hell, and you have more of an open mind, then you're more harder to control. You know what I mean? So they want to keep that control over you, even though I believe, in my opinion, probably maybe 80% of all the presidents, starting from George Washington all the way to Trump now, I think probably over 50% of them were either agnostic or atheists, and probably didn't care about any religion, period. I don't think Obama cared about religion, because people in higher places, people with control, people with money, millionaires, billionaires, you tend to find them irreligious. You know what I mean? Just do your research on that. And there's a reason for that. You usually find them irreligious because usually these people have a higher intelligence and they understand what's going on. But they understand also how to use tools to keep the masses of the people in check. And I just correlated that because I was just looking at the news today and I saw these particular riots in Seattle, and it just didn't look right. I want y'all to go look at it. I mean, I don't know for a fact, but I think it's staged. Just like I believe that the Boston bombing was staged. I believe that 9/11 was staged. That they put on Osama bin Laden. As far as the 19 passengers, I'm not sure if that was real or not. From certain sources, they say some of those so-called 19 passengers that, of course, that the FBI put on tape after they supposedly had died in these planes. They say some of these people were found in other countries. So, and I just can't believe bin Laden and them did that on their own. It doesn't seem like something that bin Laden would have been scared to claim. So I reject that. Period. That Al Qaeda probably didn't have nothing to do with 9/11. So, and there's a lot of other things that's been going on in this country. I mean, for years and for centuries, that we think just a one-shot type thing. I mean, even the assassination of JFK, we still don't know who did that. MLK, they locked somebody up who died, but if y'all remember that, even the family at the end, somebody sent them some information where they didn't even believe that the killer that was locked up and died in Georgia prison, in Tennessee prison, was even the one who killed King. They felt there was somebody else involved. So you're dealing with a country that is real keen on murder, keen on keeping people controlled, keen on dividing information up and controlling information and keeping people dubbed down from thinking. So this is why people call this, they say this is the greatest country in the world. Well, in actuality, it's the greatest country in the world when it comes to secrets and lies and deception. This is why they're considered the greatest country in the world, because they keep their people in the blind. And the government, the few, the 1%, can run this country with no problem because of the things that you accept. Not just religious beliefs, but the things you accept through your TV screens, through the media. They trick you. Like all this thing going on with Trump. I made a video some months ago about Donald Trump, as far as the person, which I don't know Donald Trump the person. But if you notice just the wave behind it, it's like a real negative wave, negative group of people following him. And I think the people the powers that be picked up on that, as far as the bigotry and all the racist white people in America who just backed him because of the things he was saying. And they used that. Well, they used that to gain a big caravan, a big momentum. Whatever the Russians might have had involved in it as far as Putin. And I'm not going to deny that. CIA said they did. CIA said the Russians manipulated the voter, and they probably did. I wouldn't doubt that for one bit. But it all, gelled together as far as the people doing what they want to do. What I mean by the people, I'm talking about the 1%, people who run the world. In other words, your votes didn't mean nothing. And those of you who are out there actually protesting for real, 9 times out of 10, if there are some sincere protesters out there actually protesting against Donald Trump, they have been coerced into doing it by these actors, and they don't even know that. So I'm not saying everybody in the crowd are actors, but probably it's a lot of actors, there's a lot of people that's involved in these protests now. They're paid to do this. They're busting these windows, and the other people that have been coerced to go out there to seem like they're part of something that's real, but they've been fooled too. And the media is there to show you all this. So it's like a mirage. You're seeing something that, oh man, the people really don't want Trump in there. But it's bigger than that. And I just want y'all to pay attention to that. And don't be fooled by those particular things. Because those things are staged. And like I said, go back and look at the Boston. Just go back and research upon the Boston bombing. And even made a movie about it. You know what I mean? Got Mark Wahlberg acting all this shit, It's all Hollywood. It's all a joke. You know what I'm saying? Because they put you to sleep with movies and TV and a lot of things that throw you in your face and actually be truth. But just go back and look up the Boston bombing. It's a hoax, and the pictures and things they did. Same thing with 9/11. The same thing with 9/11, man. When people still can't explain, the plane going into the Pentagon. As far as the debris or the bodies. People, what this stuff was at. People can't explain how these 2 twin towers just collapse, both collapse. The beams that come on, there's no way that the jet fuel could get that hot to just make the whole beams in both buildings just collapse like that. It's not, as far as, you don't have to be a construction engineer major to understand that, or to understand structural steel or structural mechanics, be an expert in that to understand that those buildings are supposed to just go down like that. But, yeah, I just wanted to speak on that because I seen that today on the news, Donald Trump, man. It's just a trip. It's funny. You know what I'm saying? But I know most people are going to be tricked with that, man. But thanks to my subscribers. Thanks for looking at my videos. And I'm going to stay up on this. I'm going to keep speaking about it because ain't no telling what's going on forward day by day with Trump getting inaugurated and all this shit. But he's a part of the fold now, the presidential fold. And those of you who don't understand what that fold is, that's the fold. That's the secrecy fold. That's the fold of, hey, this is how we do it, and this is how you're gonna do it too. So Either the Trumpster gonna be with it or he ain't. So, but we'll see how it turned out though. Like I say, thanks to my subscribers. Thanks for sharing my videos and my likes. Peace out. Remember it.